again, don't have adequate information to make any firm kind of judgment about this, but I would like a topo map showing the placement of trees within that range of 300 feet in all directions, showing the height of the trees, because we say it will be below or above the tree line. That is going to impact the turbulence that is going to be hit. And the coast is not, contrary to some people's thinking, a particularly good place for small turbine systems. Outfit Berkeley made the best turbines in the world, went out of business shortly after Reagan sabotaged the alternative energy program in this country. But the other side of it is here, is that even on the basis of the data you're giving me, you say that, or some of the data here is that for a 250 watt turbine should be mounted on a 30 to 50 foot tower. This is sizably more than a 250 watt, and you're just barely getting into the range for a much, much smaller tower, which means you're going to experience a good bit of turbulence. And I would predict, for your sake, if you approve, that this doesn't happen, and you'll be taking down that tower and putting up a much taller tower that would should have been spelled out to you by your consultants. Now, the guy, I don't have any evidence that they have had a lot of experience in this. But my concern here is that this is an under height because of trees. You don't have 300 feet clearance from all obstacles in all directions, as best as I can discern from what you've given me. Okay, what you need. And then it's not high enough to handle the winds that would normally occur there. And it is not high enough to keep from being really chewed up because of the closeness to the ground for this size of the turbine. That's my main concern. I'm looking at just that part of it. The visual aspect of this then comes into play because right now you're seeing the top 50% of that rotation of the blades. And they're not going to be going around so fast that you just see blur. They're going to be moving. If I'm down on the beach, if I'm down in an area where the view shed in that direction is a consideration, and it was a consideration when we put Big Rivers Park in place. Protecting the view shed was and is a major consideration. If you're doing that at the height you're talking about, at 40 feet, and you decide reasonably that you need to go up another 20 to 30 feet to handle the turbulence because it's breaking up your machine, you're going to be coming back saying, but I've got this investment in all this, I've got this system in place, and so on and so forth, and we'll be looking at something where we have the full visual impact of the blades, whether you like it or not. I don't mind it, but a lot of people really find it unsightly. And matter of fact, I apparently am something of a minority on this, is evidence that we have to pay attention to the seriousness of the view shed on it. So I'm concerned. I'm concerned about the technical issue, and I'm concerned about the visual issue. You're putting Keaton Pickens on his investment in wind systems, and it's an anomaly. But you've got people investing big money in the system. But I don't think this board should be held accountable for the energy crisis we're taking place or your involvement in it. I think we have to keep this thing restricted to this system at this place at this time and how it impacts those in the immediate and general area. I think we're pretty sensitive at this point. Even this board is sensitive to the energy crisis. But I would not want this to be the poster child either for the poster tower, okay, for or against the sensitivity or the enlightenment of the enlightenment evidence of the enlightened prepared for the board of supervisors. I think you made that pitch, but I think you were talking to speaking to the choir. But I would have rather had more information on those two items to be able to deal with the concerns. It's not raised by the, I think directly by the appellant, but I think it's appropriate for us to bring these things into place. Could you comment on those?
My understanding of the tower as proposed at the height that it, at 40 feet is that it's not visible from the Big River State Park. That was part of our objective, is to make sure it's not visible from any place within the park, down there at sea level, nor any place along Route 1. I would be pleased to furnish the additional information as you request. So we're going to have to look into that. I'm sorry I don't have those pieces of data available, but Gaia Energy Systems is widely known as an expert in renewable energy, and they've been in business for a long time here in Mendocino County, and that's why we went with them as our technical consultant on this project.
I understand that. I guess my concern, just responding to your comment, is my only concern here is to be expert in a number of different areas, like solar panels or water systems and so forth, and not be an expert in wind energy. I mean, wind energy has its own niche. And
Yes.
I'm just not familiar with their work. But the thing that I also see you being in an awkward position on is if you make the height that I guess should be the appropriate height, you are going to have problems with the view shed from Big River. And I would not want to have to deal with this 2 years from now. Your system is not working. You have to take it up and make it work and do the things you want to do.
Understood, thank you.
Please.
And Amy, I do have some, I can answer a little bit of that. One, the particular turbine that Charles Wood has proposed is extremely efficient. Its cut-in speed is very low. I've got the numbers in the packet. I don't remember what the numbers they are, but it cuts in at a very low speed. Thank you. And it also has a shut-off speed. If the rotors start moving too fast, it'll shut off so it doesn't self-destruct. So it's very efficient, and it has a self-protective measure. And you're right, it would be more efficient to have the tower taller, but being in a highly scenic, or actually this is actually not mapped as highly scenic area, but in being in the coastal zone in a scenically sensitive area, we kept the tower to a height where we could still get wind coming up from that draw. It does have the most amount of wind available to it on the site. Anywhere else is much quieter wind-wise. So there will be benefits, especially in the winter months when there is more wind coming through. If the height were to be, well, the physical structure of the tower is a very strong monopole with very deep foundation, so that it, just as far as bending, it'll be good. And if it does need to go to a taller height, I'm still nervous. It needs to go to a taller height. We have to come back to the CPA hearing. And